How's it going, guys? We're doing a real world fuel economy test here. So let's check out our range because we're about to fill up. So we have a 51 kilometer range. All right, let's see how much it costs to fill up. $51.5 liters. Sweet. All right, now that we're all filled up, you can see we have 437 kilometers of range, and our current fuel economy is 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers. So we're going to reset that, and then we're going to take this on a long road trip and see what kind of fuel economy that we can manage. Now we're really going to use cruise control and make sure we're not going too crazy on our footing, because typically we don't drive too crazy, and that's what led to our 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers. So let's see how good we can get. We're going to be driving about 200 kilometers round trip around there. So let's see what we're at. All right, so we're just leaving London. We have a 130 kilometer distance to our destination and a 425 kilometer range. Let's see what kind of fuel economy we can get.
Howdy folks, so if you're interested in watching this, it's obviously because you're either on the market for a Grand Highlander or you have a different model and you're curious about the different fuel economy. Well, this is going to get to the bottom of it. Well, I'll say that we've driven this through the city all of the lifetime that we've had it for almost a year now. We got it in September of 2023, and we've gotten about 12.5 to 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers in this city. And this is a real world test here that we're going to figure out what we can get in highway fuel economy. Now we're doing a 230 kilometer round trip outing, so let's see what we can get. On a side note, you can see here, if you haven't bought one yet, there's a vibration here in the hood. That is just kind of just a heads up. There's a little flimsy hood that come with these Grand Highlanders. It's pretty interesting to see, but other than that though, this thing has been amazing and we really love having it. And I can't say that there's another car out there that I'd rather spend 54k Canadian on, at least not one that provides the amount of size that this one does. So that said, let's see what the numbers we got up to our first destination.
All right, we've made it to our destination, and we have here a 350 kilometer range with an average fuel economy of 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers. So I'll put the calculation in miles per gallon on the screen over here, and we'll see what we're looking at. All right, as you can see here, we're about to leave here, head back to London. We've got 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers. It was actually just 8.8 a few moments ago there, which is the equivalent of 26 miles to the gallon, which is actually really good. Obviously, if you're in the city, it's going to be much different, but in terms of a highway example, this is really good. So we're going to whip back now, and then we'll update it and see if we can get this number any lower.
So if you guys are on the market for a Grand Highlander, obviously you have the 2.4 liter turbocharged engine, you just have the standard 2.5 liter hybrid engine, and then you got the Platinum Hybrid Max trim available as well. Now the entry-level XLE trim with the gas as well as the Platinum Max have very similar fuel economy numbers, but you're going to see at the end of the video, I'll do a tally and just show you what the actual best fuel economy model of the Grand Highlander is if you're looking to buy one. And I'll just say the biggest thing, the biggest aspect of getting the best fuel economy is definitely going to be how you put your foot down. Are you racing around like a maniac like me, or are you just being a good responsible individual and respecting the road? That will be up to you. But overall, if you want the best fuel economy, there's going to be a certain model that you're going to want to go for.
So we've made it back, and we've got an average of 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers, and we have a 217 kilometer range left here. So what does this amount to? So 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers equates to about 24 miles to the gallon on the highway. This also happened with some pretty serious traffic at the beginning of our departure back to the city. So are these impressive numbers? Well, your posted EPA fuel economy should actually be 28 miles to the gallon for this XLE 2.4 liter T engine, non-hybrid, 28 miles to the gallon in the highway, as well as 21 in the city. However, here on the highway, obviously I could see you being able to hit that 28 miles to the gallon here, but if you're not on the cruise control very hard and you're really staying way off that gas pedal, it's probably going to be quite hard to achieve, at least for me, judging by what I've witnessed and what I've experienced driving this on the highway for the last year. That said though, what we've done today is actually very realistic. Going 24 miles to the gallon, 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers is definitely doable, especially if you're going a longer distance. It's definitely something that's pretty attainable. And if you use cruise control very often and you're able to keep your foot off that gas, it's going to help a lot, because obviously you have a very small engine here powering this big vehicle. Now, when you're in the city, this is where it really starts to suck up a lot more fuel economy. So on average here, I'll get between 12.5 liters per 100 kilometers and 13.1 liters per 100 kilometers in the city. So it's definitely worse than what you would expect, what you see on the EPA, but it's still not bad considering the size of this. But if you want the best fuel economy, what model do you go for? Well, it won't be for this 2.4T right here. You're gonna wanna find something with a bunch of orange wires around it, and not the hybrid turbo max. You're gonna wanna have just a standard Grand Highlander hybrid. This is the best fuel economy, and it's got the 2.5 liter non-turbo hybrid engine. This just has amazing fuel economy. You can get upwards of 36 miles to the gallon on the highway, 31 in the city, and it's proven and tested to work time and time again. And all over the Grand Highlander forums, this is the case. So if you want fuel economy, and that's one of the most important aspects in your mind, that's what you're gonna wanna go for. So that said, guys, that is it for this video. If this helped you out at all, smash that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, because that means a lot, and we'll see you guys in the next video. If you have anything specific you'd like to see, drop it down in the comments. I would love to hear it. Anyway, have a good week. Peace.